Okay, so it's super windy and I hope that you can hear me okay, but I just wanted to make a short video just talking about a conference that I went to over the weekend. It was called the Clarkson Academy, and it was a conference about abortion, a topic that you probably already know is close to my heart, something that I care about a lot. And I just wanted to talk a bit about the impact that it had on me, because I think the tendency with this kind of thing is just to go to a conference and then you come home and then your life just kind of continues as normal and nothing really changes. But it really struck me because a lot of the things that were said were really echoing what was already in my heart, especially when it comes to the church. So I've been thinking a lot about abortion and the church for probably a year or so, and it was just amazing because during this conference actually two people did a talk on this, and I was just so challenged by it that I just wanted to share a bit about essentially what was said and why I agree. So a few months ago I met someone called Dave Brennan. He contacted me because he'd read my blog post on abortion, and he essentially said, we should meet and just have a chat. So we did, and long story short, through meeting him, I kind of ended up at the Clarkson Academy. And he did a talk during the conference about why the church should speak on this issue. And it was just incredible because it was like everything I'd been thinking about that week, he said. And I don't normally have this kind of reaction when somebody does a talk, but the whole time I was just sitting there and it was like my chest was like physically hurting because of the impact of what he was saying. It's like every word was kind of like this sort of punch to the gut. It's so powerful. And I can't remember everything that he said, but essentially he was saying that we need to discuss abortion in church, because if you don't, you are sending one of two messages. Either you're saying that abortion is permissible, or you're saying it's unforgivable. I know a lot of people would disagree with this stance. I think a lot of people would say this is not a topic that can be preached from the pulpit or preached from the front on a Sunday morning. But my question to you is why? Because a lot of churches care about justice, they care about really important things. They care about poverty, they care about trafficking, homelessness, food banks. You get the drift, and all of these things are important. All of these things should be talked about, but I mean, surely by that logic, abortion is also gross injustice. So we're talking about the loss of life on an unbelievable scale. It's like, I don't know, over 500 abortions every day in the United Kingdom. And you know what? In my experience growing up in church, I don't think I've ever heard it talked about. I mean, if we claim to care about injustice, surely we can't just pick and choose which injustices we talk about and which ones we ignore because they're, I don't know, is it because it's too controversial? Is it because people are getting offended? I don't know. But Dave, the guy I just mentioned, he said something like, do we care more about the feelings of the strong than about the lives of the weak? And I think it was the theologian Francis Schaeffer. He said that every abortion clinic should have a sign saying open by permission of the church. I remember the first time I read that, I was so convicted, because I really believe that the church is a prophetic voice of the culture. The church needs to set the tone. The church needs to set the trend. And if we're not doing that, we're kind of complicit. we're kind of complicit in what's happening, and it just, I don't know, it just really bothers me that we're not talking about this. And another thing I just wanted to mention as well was that a few months ago when I wrote my first blog post on abortion, I basically just outlined the basic syllogism, abortion is the taking of an innocent human life. Taking of an innocent human life is wrong. Therefore, abortion is wrong. And I also included links to like an animated video. It wasn't even like a real graphic live video. It was an animated video, a set of animated videos depicting what abortion procedures were like. And I encourage people to watch it, because how can you care about an injustice that you don't understand? And a lot of people read that post. I mean, comparatively, I don't have that many people reading my blog, but it definitely had the most views of anything I've published so far, and a very, very small number of people clicked on the links. And that was kind of disappointing, because it's almost like saying, yeah, I kind of see that this is an issue, but I don't really want to confront it in its fullest. I don't want to know. And turning a blind eye on injustice means that you are basically allowing it to carry on. I don't mean to come down harshly on anyone here. I'm saying this out of love, because I used to be like this too. I used to just say, it's kind of a thing that happens. It's not something that I really want to get involved with because it's so controversial. But after I actually saw images of what abortion is, I saw a live video of an abortion procedure, and I think once you've seen that, you can't go back to everyday life. You can't just pretend that this isn't happening. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling, but I'm just encouraging you to take this seriously. I'm not aiming this at any individual, by the way. This is just a sort of generic message to anyone watching, especially if you're a church leader in any shape or form. If you want to talk to me about it, please talk to me. I'd love to talk to you about this. I'd love to have a conversation. I'm just going to leave you with this, just a quote by Edmund Burke. I think it's like, the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. So are we going to do nothing because our reputations are at stake, because we might offend some people, or are we going to do what's right? Are we going to be the church? Are we going to obey the full gospel? Are we going to obey God's word or not? Just wanted to leave you with that, and again, I say it out of love, so yeah, I love you guys, so thank you if you watched this all the way. I really appreciate it.